Good morning, children. Welcome back to English class. How many of you did well in the exam? Hmm? Many of you did not read the text or notes. When I say you did not read means some of you did not read the poetry textbook, short story textbook, and drama textbook, and also the notes I have given. Okay. Some of you did very well, good, and some of you did not read the text or note. Okay, so only one scene is over, no problem. You can start learning. Whatever lesson is taught, please learn that day itself. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you. Okay, so let me ask from the last part of the first scene, that is, I have asked a question also for the exam, that is, uh, why does Basano need money and what does Antonio instruct him to do? Basano needed money to go to Belmont and take part in the lottery of caskets and win Portia. In order to present himself as a wealthy man or a noble man, he needed money. That's why he wanted to borrow money from Antonio. At this time, Antonio did not have ready cash. So he instructs him to borrow money from anyone in Venice in his account. Okay, or he will be the guarantor. This is what Antonio tells him. This is the last part of the first scene. Now we'll learn the second scene. Okay, Act 1, Scene 2. In your textbook, it's page number 14. Okay, so in this scene, we are taken from this commercial world of Venice. Okay, the first scene happens in Venice, that is completely commercial. Now, from this commercial world, we are taken to the romantic world of Belmont. Portia's mansion is here in Belmont. Okay, and in the opening scene, Portia's beauty is indirectly revealed through Bassanio's speech. Okay, we heard Bassanio praising her beauty. She is more beautiful than beauty. That's what he told. Okay. And now Portia is introduced to the audience, having a conversation with her mate. Okay. So if a question is asked, where does the scene take place? You have to write in full sentence. The scene takes place in a hall in Portia's house in Belmont. Who all are present there? Portia and Nerissa are present there. Portia and her lady in waiting or her maid Nerissa are present there. Okay. Now, what are the objective of this scene? Okay. The scene serves three major purposes. First one is that it outlines the device of the lottery of casket. Second, it introduces Portia as a strong, intelligent woman. Thirdly, it reminds Portia of Basano, rousing her interest in him. Okay. Now, in this scene, you can find Portia having good sense of humor. Okay. And she utters few maxims and makes amusing comments on her suitors. And what about Nerissa, her lady in waiting? She's also a friend to Portia. When she finds Portia in a state of melancholy or sadness, she tries to console her. Okay. Now, in the first scene, we found Antonio very sad, Antonio in a melancholic mood. But Antonio doesn't know the reason why he is sad. But here, in the second scene, we find Portia sad, but she knows or she why she is sad. Okay. Now we'll see the text. All of you look into your textbook. Those who do not have the textbook, look onto the screen. Okay, scene 2, Belmont, a hall in Portia's house. Enter Portia and Nerissa. By my troth, Nerissa, my little body is a weary of this great world. So Portia tells Nerissa that she is tired. She's tired of this great world. Her little body is tired of this great world. See, you can see that the second scene is in prose. Okay. In the first scene, you have found that it was in verse, that means poetic form, but here it is in prose. Now, what does Nerissa reply? You would be, sweet madam, if your miseries were in the same abundance as your good fortunes are, and yet, for aught I see, they are as sick that surfeit with too much as they that starve with nothing. So Nerissa replies that she would be tired. Okay, Portia would be tired if she has as many miseries as her good fortunes. That means she has abundance of good fortunes. At the same time, she has miseries also. And then, yet for aught I see, they are as sick that surfeit with too much. So, according to Nerissa, she says that the people are sick of having too much. That means the people who have too much, okay, surfeit, sick that surfeit, the people who have too much, that means the people who are supplied in excess, they are also worried, they are also sick with too much, as they that starve with nothing. What about the other group, the people who do not have anything? They also are worried. Okay, they starve with nothing. It is no mean happiness, therefore, to be seated in the mean. So she says that it is not a bad fortune. That means That means it is good. It is a good fortune if you are in the middle of these two. Middle of these two means between the poverty and between the riches. That means a middle class. Okay. Nobody wants to be very poor, is it? So between poverty and riches, that is a middle class. So it is a good fortune to be in the middle. That means seated in the mean. Superfluity comes sooner by white hairs. So according to Nerissa, one who has too much will become old very fast. That means grows white head fast. That means become sick and ill healthy very fast. But competency lives longer. That means one who has got just enough, that means just to live, they live longer. You know that nowadays people have a lot of lifestyle diseases. Why do people have lifestyle diseases? Because they have too much. Is it too much to eat, drinking and eating? People have a lot of diseases, and this cause or this cause or this is the cause of many diseases and ill health, and this lead to their early death. Okay, so Portia replies, good sentences and well pronounced. So Portia is happy that Nerissa talked well. Okay, that is well spoken, good words, and it is spoken in a right manner. Nerissa, they would be better if well followed. So Nerissa replies that it would be better if people follow this, or if the people follow. Portia, if to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches, and poor men's cottages, princes' palaces. So Portia says that if it were as easy as to follow the moral ideas as it is merely to know about it, the chapels will be churches. That means everybody knows what is good and what is bad, but people do not do good things. So it is easy to know good things, but it is very hard to do it. So if it is easy to do good as we know it, then she says that then the chapels would have been churches, or the chapels would become churches. Chapels mean is a small place where people go to worship. Churches, big buildings, and poor men's cottages will become the palaces. It is a good divine that follows his own instruction. So he is a person who preaches is a good priest if he follows his own teachings. So what does it mean? What does it mean? Portia says that it is easy to preach than to practice. Everyone can preach, or everyone can say, do good, do this, do that. But it is very difficult to practice those good things. That's what she says. So a priest is a good person if he follows his own instructions. So he is good in giving instructions. but he does not sometimes practice it. Now she says, I can easier teach 20 that were good to be done, that be one of the 20 to follow mine own teaching. So she says that Portia can teach 20 pupils good things, what all things to be followed, but to be one person and follow these things, that is very hard. Okay, and then the brain may devise laws for the blood, but a hot temper leaves or the cold decree such a hair is madness the youth to skip all measures of good counsel the cripple. So according to Portia, the brain may devise laws for the blood, the mind draws up laws for the body, or what are the laws to be followed. But hot temper leaps or the cold decree. But what happens? The passion, the desire, okay, our desire, they break the laws. They just jump over the decree. Decree means laws. They just jump over the cold decrees. Like what? Like a hare is madness the youth. Okay, the youth is compared to a, a rabbit or a hare that skip or the meshes, that skip over the net, that jumps over the net. Okay, and then avoids the good advice, the good counsel, the good counsel, the cripple. Okay. But this reasoning is not in the fashion to choose me a husband. But she tells that, but this thinking or thinking in this way cannot help her to choose a husband. Why? So then immediately she says, choose. The word choose, I may neither choose whom I would, nor refuse whom I dislike. So immediately she says that she has no right. She neither has the right to choose a person whom she likes, nor refuse a person whom she dislikes. Why is that? Why she does not have that right? So is the will of a living daughter curbed by the will of a dead father. Okay, so she says that her will is curbed or checked or controlled by the will of a dead father. Her father is dead, and before his death, he had laid down a will. And what is that will? Okay, he has or he had devised the lottery of casket. Okay, so uh, Portia inherits a lot of wealth, or she had inherited a lot of wealth from her father. And her father had devised the lottery of casket, or he was a very intelligent man, or he was a holy man, or he was a virtuous man. So he knew that many will come in search of Portia, or many will come to marry Portia. So he wanted someone who loves her truly to marry her. So he had devised a lottery of casket. Okay, according to this lottery of caskets, there are 3 caskets. Caskets means boxes or chess boxes. There are 3 caskets. They are gold, silver, and lead. A suitor who comes to marry Portia should select a casket, and if he chooses the right casket, he can marry Portia. The right casket means the casket in which Portia's portrait is. Okay, that person can marry Portia. This is the lottery of casket devised by her father. So according to this, or according to the lottery of casket, Portia should marry a person or marry the person who chooses the right casket, whether she likes or not. And she has no right to refuse that person, even if she does not like that person. So that's why she says she has no right to choose her husband. Okay, and see the next sentence. Is it not hard, Nerissa, that I cannot choose one nor refuse none? So nor refuse. So double negatives should not come. So nor refuse one. You have to read it as one. So she's asking her maid, Nerissa, do, uh, don't I have the right to choose one I like and refuse the one I dislike? This is what she asked Nerissa. Okay, the next page. Nerissa, your father was ever virtuous, and holy men at their death have good inspirations. Therefore, the lottery that he had devised in these 3 chests of gold, silver, and lead, whereof who chooses his meaning chooses you, will no doubt never be chosen by any rightly, but one who shall rightly love. Okay, so Nerissa consoles her, and this is why Portia is sad. Portia knows the reason, or we also know the reason why Portia is sad. Okay, so Nerissa tries to console her and says that your father was ever virtuous. So Nerissa tells Portia that Portia's father was always a virtuous man, always a man of virtues. Okay, he was a virtuous man. Virtues noun, virtuous adjective. Okay, he was a man of virtues, or you can say he was a virtuous man, and holy men at their death. See, according to Nerissa, or Nerissa tells that holy men before their death or just before their death have good inspiration. Therefore, the lottery that he had devised in these chests of gold, silver, and lead. So he was a holy man, or he had good inspiration from God. That's why he had devised this lottery of casket of gold, silver, and lead, whereof who chooses this, his meaning chooses you. So if a person chooses the right casket, that means that person truly loves Portia. Chooses, one who chooses his, meaning chooses you. That means that person truly loves Portia. Will, no doubt, never be chosen by any rightly, but one who shall rightly love. So Portia is certain that the, the casket, the right casket will be chosen by a person who truly loves her. But now she asks, but what warmth is there in your affection towards any of these princely suitors that are already come? So already some princely suitors have come. Now Nerissa asks Portia about her opinion. Okay, so what is her opinion about these princely suitors? So now what does Portia tell? I pray thee, overname them. Okay, Portia tells Nerissa, okay, you tell the name. Okay, name them one by one. And as thou namest them, when you tell their name, I'll describe them. So Portia tells Nerissa to tell the name, and when Nerissa tells the name one by one, Portia is going to describe them, their qualities, and according to my description, level at my affection. So Portia tells that according to her remarks, Nerissa can understand or level her affection to them. Nerissa. First, there is the Neapolitan prince. So Nerissa tells, okay, the first one was the Neapolitan prince. Neapolitan prince, that is the prince from Naples. Okay. So what does Portia tell about this Neapolitan prince or prince of Naples? Hey, that's a colt indeed. So what does Portia say? Hey, that's a colt. Colt means, what do you mean by colt? A young horse. Okay. Yeah, that's a colt. It's a horse indeed. Surely he is just like a horse. For he doth nothing but talk of his horse. Because he does nothing. He does nothing but only talk of his horse. And he makes it a great appropriation to his own good parts, that he can shew him himself. So you might have seen horse shoe, okay? And so he's Portia says that this Prince of Naples or Neapolitan prince is so proud that he can shoe his own horse. He can shoe him himself. I am afraid, my lady, his mother played false with a smith. So Portia makes fun of him and says that she's afraid that this Neapolitan prince must, or this Neapolitan prince's mother must have a must have had a love affair with a blacksmith. This is what she tells. Okay, she makes fun of him and tells that his mother must have had an affair with a blacksmith. Okay, children, please read the the passage that I had taught. Read the lesson, that is line 1 to 37. Okay, and read the workbook also, and the right side of the text. in simple English, the meaning is given. So go through it, try to understand. Okay, when you read once or twice, you will understand. Or pause the video and then try to listen again, and then you will understand. So, okay, we'll see in the next class.